The Three Gold Spinners. Long ago, in a kingdom nestled between misty mountains and whispering forests, there lived a poor miller and his beautiful daughter, Leora. The miller, once prosperous, had fallen on hard times, and his daughter was his only joy. Leora had hair like spun sunlight and eyes as deep as the forest shadows, but though she was fair, she was not skilled in the ways of work. One day, as fate would have it, the king himself passed through their village. His royal procession, adorned in velvet and gold, halted near the mill, and the king, intrigued by the sight of the lovely maiden, asked her father, "Who is this girl, and what can she do?" The miller, eager to impress, boasted, "My lord, this is my daughter, and she can spin straw into gold." The king's eyes gleamed with greed. "Then bring her to the palace tomorrow. If she can truly spin straw into gold, she shall be rewarded. If she fails, she will be punished." That night the miller wept, realizing his foolish lie had doomed his daughter. Leora, though terrified, tried to soothe him. "Do not despair, father. Perhaps fortune will favor us. The first night." The next day, Leora was taken to a grand chamber in the palace, filled from floor to ceiling with mounds of straw. A spinning wheel sat in the corner. The king said, "Spin all this straw into gold by morning, or you shall lose your head." Then he locked her inside. Trembling, Leora sank to the floor. "How can I do the impossible?" she whispered. Just as despair gripped her, a soft chuckle filled the air. A small, crooked figure emerged from the shadows, a hunched old woman with twinkling eyes and fingers like gnarled roots. "Why do you weep, child?" the old woman asked. Leora gasped. "I must spin this straw into gold, or I shall die." The old woman grinned, revealing a mouth of silver teeth. "And what will you give me if I do it for you?" Leora hesitated. "I have nothing but this necklace, my mother's last gift." The old woman snatched the necklace. "A fair trade." With that, she sat at the spinning wheel. Her hands moved in a blur, and as she spun, the straw twisted into gleaming gold thread, piling high in shimmering coils. By dawn, every strand of straw had been transformed. When the king returned, he was astonished and greedier than ever. The second night. That evening, Leora was led to an even larger room, stuffed with twice as much straw. "Again," the king commanded. "Spin it all or face your fate." Once more Leora sat alone weeping, until the old woman appeared. "What will you give me tonight?" she cackled. Leora offered her silver ring, the last of her valuables. The old woman took it and spun the straw into gold before vanishing into the night. The next morning, the king was thrilled, but not satisfied. The third night. On the third night, Leora was taken to the grandest hall yet, filled to the rafters with straw. "One last test," the king said. "Succeed, and you shall be my queen. Fail, and you perish." When the door locked, Leora knew she had nothing left to give. Yet the old woman appeared once more. "This time," the crone said, "I shall help you, but in return, you must give me your firstborn child when you are queen." Leora, desperate and fearing death, agreed. The old woman worked through the night, spinning mountains of gold. By morning, the king was overjoyed. True to his word, he married Leora, and for a time, she lived in luxury. The queen's bargain. A year later, Leora bore a son, a beautiful child with his mother's golden hair. The old woman returned, her clawed hands outstretched. "You promised me the babe." The queen wept and begged. "Take anything else, my crown, my wealth." The old woman's eyes softened. "Very well. If in 3 days you can guess my name, you may keep the child." For 2 nights, Leora guessed every name she knew, but failed. On the third day, a palace guard reported seeing a strange figure dancing in the woods, singing, "Tonight I brew, tomorrow I bake. Soon I'll have the child to take. The queen will never guess it right. For Rumpelstiltskin is my name tonight. When the old woman returned, Leora smiled. "Is your name Rumpelstiltskin?" The creature shrieked, stamping her foot so hard the earth shook. "Curses! You've won!" And with that, she vanished in a puff of smoke. Leora kept her child, and though the king remained greedy, she ruled with wisdom, ensuring no one else suffered as she had. And so the tale of the three gold spinners became legend, a warning against lies, greed, and the dangers of striking bargains with the unseen forces of the world. The end.